Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And how are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing pretty good. So if you're coming across this channel for the very first time, you're highly welcome. My name is Lily and I'm a mom of two kids. So please do well to subscribe to my channel and turn your bell notification on. Okay? So now guys, if you watch my last video where I announced that I was pregnant or that I am pregnant, okay? So I promised you guys that I was going to bring your way a video, you know, telling you in details what happened and how I started trying to conceive and how I finally became pregnant. So this is the video that I promised you guys. So like I said, guys, this journey of trying to conceive, like when I said trying to conceive, I didn't try for a very long time. You can see my baby girl is about to turn 4. So like I didn't try for a very long, let's just say 3 years. And at this point, like my heart goes out to this like these wonderful women who have been trying to conceive for as long as 5 years, 10 years, 7 years, even if it is 1 year. Like, God is your strength and hang in there. I can't stop praying for you guys. God is definitely, in fact, He has done it. Just start appreciating Him because He has done it. Now, this journey has taught me a lot of things. It has taught me that pregnancy itself, like you see, pregnancy is a miracle itself. Starting from the conception to the implantation to carrying it and reaching full term, everything is just the miracle of God. I said in my last video that it is one thing for a woman to get pregnant, to conceive, and it is another thing for the baby, everything to go fine, and then you put to bed. Now, when my baby girl turned 1 year and 6 months, we started trying to conceive again, and like I was one of those people that gets pregnant easily. Like once I say this month I'm getting pregnant, I'm not saying it's by my own power. Like I'm just trying to tell you how easily it happened to me. Like once I tell you this month we are getting pregnant and it's happening like that. Once I time my ovulation very well and everything happens, it must result to pregnancy. Like I felt that it was the normal thing. Like if you want to get pregnant, you get pregnant. That it was just the way it was fashioned naturally. If you want to get, like, I didn't know that it can be one thing to get pregnant and another thing to for everything to go fine. Because in my two pregnancies, like I had nothing to worry about. I would just get pregnant. I wouldn't even register for antenatal immediately. In my first baby, I registered for antenatal at 4 months old, and everything was just fine. Like I put to bed my second baby, same thing. After we started trying, in a very short period of time, I took in, and I'm someone that once I take in, I already know. I already know the unusual feelings that come along with them, okay? So me testing for a pregnancy is just to fulfill all righteousness and to prove to my partner that yes, I am pregnant. So of which I knew before then that I was pregnant. Like all the feelings were off. Like I knew I was pregnant. So when I finally tested, it was positive. I told my husband we're having another baby. We were so happy. And then I relaxed. I know the reason I'm just giving all these things in detail. Just pay close attention because I would have just, you know, ignored the whole thing. But I just want, even if it is one person that will learn from this story, it is just okay by me. Okay. So when I relaxed, waiting for the pregnancy to at least reach 8 weeks, 10 weeks before I go for my first ultrasound. About 2 days later or 3 days later, when I went to use the restroom, I started, in fact, I noticed that I was spotting. And guys, because maybe I'm the type of person that it was going pretty fine with me all this while. So at that point, when I started spotting, it didn't scare me at all. I wasn't scared one bit. So in my mind, I was like, okay, this could be an implantation spotting because it happens to some people. And I relaxed. The following day, um, the next thing that accompanied the spotting was, stomach cramps, pains all over my body, and this time around, the spotting changed in color and became red, bright red. Like bright red, like something that was coming from a fresh wound. You understand? Not dull in color anymore. Even at that point, guys, I was still not scared. I was having serious stomach upset. The only time, and when I told my husband the very first day I noticed it, and he was like, "Let's go to the hospital. Let's go to the hospital." I said, "Okay, wait, wait, wait." At that time, when I was having stomach cramp, like the only thing that crossed my mind, man, maybe this baby doesn't want to stay, is a miscarriage that is about to happen. Oh yeah, if you want to happen, happen. Let me just, if you don't want to stay, go. That was just it's like I was so like a about the whole thing. I didn't take myself serious. Now, guys, the pain intensified and I couldn't bear it anymore. Still, I didn't rush to the hospital. So in the evening, my husband said, "Okay, let's go and consult a doctor," because all these things were happening back in Mexico. We were still in Mexico. So we went to a nearby pharmacy because back in Mexico, almost every pharmacy has doctors that if you want to consult them, you can consult them. So we went and we consulted the doctor. The doctor tested and it was positive, and she sent us for a scan. And then the following day, which was like in the morning as early, because that scan, that diagnostic center, you have to go very early. So when I reached the scan place, they told me that that kind of scan, they don't, that it was not available at that moment. They had to refer me to another diagnostic center, and at that point, I couldn't bear it anymore. Like, I don't know how to explain the feelings. It was as if I was dying. I called my husband on phone and said, "Please, I'm heading to the hospital now." He said, "Please go." I flagged down the next taxi and I went to the hospital where I delivered my baby girl. They recognized me immediately. They rushed me to the scan room. When they scanned, they noticed that it was an ectopic pregnancy and my fallopian tube had already ruptured. And I was having an internal bleeding, guys. They were like, "Girl, you're so lucky. For a whole 3 days and you're still alive. Your fallopian tube ruptured. Like everything has gone bad." At that point, guys, they said, "We are rushing you to the theater immediately for surgery." And I was like, it was at that point, all these things that were happening, I was not scared. It was immediately that I heard about surgery that I started freaking out. My hands were shaking. I said surgery because that was my very first time having, going under the knife. I said, "Surgery, please wait for my husband." He said, "Which? What are you talking about? Wait for your husband? You want to die? You're already at risk of losing your life and you are saying let your husband come." Like they said, "You are going into the theater immediately. If we should waste 1 more hour, the story might be different." And no, it was just a case of emergency in the hospital. They were just, you could see everybody rushing, helter skelter, doing the right necessary thing. God. God bless those nurses and doctors. They already called my husband, dressed me up for surgery immediately and wheeled me into the theater. Before you know it, about 20 minutes, like everything happened so fast. You know, they took out everything. They took out the baby, they took out the fallopian tube. Guys, I don't want to bore you with the whole story. Okay. So, like, I just want to hit the nail on the head. So, guys, that was how I lost the baby and I lost my fallopian tube. I was left with only one fallopian tube. So before I left the hospital, guys, the doctor called me and said, "See, we are very sorry for what happened to you. But the truth is that you have 50-50 chance of conception now. It's either you give birth again or not." Okay? So, oh my God. And he explained to me that it was, I don't know how he explained it, that my dominant, like the fallopian tube through which I usually get pregnant, that was the one I lost. Okay. So that it is now a 50-50 thing. I said, "To God be the glory, I'm alive." Like I was so grateful that I made it alive. Because it was after the surgery that I noticed the weight of what happened to me. It was just a trying period for my family, guys. So like nobody knew about it, but a few of my friends who cared about, like who cared so much, a few of my friends who cared, like I couldn't have done all those things without telling them. I reached out, I told them, Because the way they were checking up on me, checking up on me, checking up on me, I had to tell them, see what happened. Okay. So now to cut the whole story short, so the doctor told me you start trying for another baby from 6 months. Okay. And I adhered strictly to that. So after 6 months, we started trying again, guys. For where after 6 months, nothing seemed to be happening. Like not even like every nothing. 1 year passed, nothing. A year and 6 months passed, nothing. Until we came back to Nigeria. So when we came back to Nigeria, we subjected ourselves to, you know, a lot of tests and procedures. Okay, all the tests kept saying that we were just 100%. Like our tests, like our results were so perfect and so beautiful, and the doctors kept wondering what was wrong. They said, okay, normally one has is supposed to still conceive with one fallopian tube. So now one doctor said, okay, let's find out if the other fallopian tube was blocked or not. Like everything, we went all the procedures they subjected me to. You know, I underwent all of them, yet nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. Everything, nothing was happening. Ah, God. I said, God, in my mind, I was still grateful. Oh, I was so grateful. I said, even if it is just these children that I have, like, some people don't have at all. Some have one, and God is still doing wonders with just one child. God, let your will be done. Everything, I kept praying about it. We kept praying seriously about it. And guys, that's why I told you, you see this child here, this child is just a divine baby. Is a divine baby. I'd like how I got pregnant now, like everything. My husband traveled back after we all came back to Nigeria. He traveled back, and when he came back, guys, in a twinkle of an eye, just like a miracle, just like a magic, everything happened. Oh, so everything happened so fast. And that is why I tell you, once God has spoken to you concerning a particular situation, whatever the devil is trying to paint before you, just ignore that. You see that word he has spoken to you, or that word he has spoken concerning that situation, it must surely come to pass. All you need to do is just to do what? Have faith. And the Bible says, I think in the book of Psalm 33, it says that a horse does not guarantee what? Safety. Like there is how the Bible talks about it. The meaning is that your own effort sometimes is not enough. Yes, it means that sometimes your own efforts is not even enough until God steps in. God stepped in and said, Lily, Ngwa, it's okay. You have run enough heter scatter. It is time to carry your baby. And bam, God, see, I didn't record my reaction because that was the last thing on my mind. Camera, my camera, like when something more than serious is happening to your life, the last thing you will even remember is to carry your camera to record reactions or something. Okay, so God did it, and I became pregnant. And do you know what, guys? They said once bitten and twice shy. Immediately, I confirmed that I was pregnant. You see how I was rushing to the hospital to register, not even for check for any scan, oh, to register for antenatal. I said, whatever people want to detect, or you detect it on time. I don't want stories. But God said to me, relax. Now me do this one. Now me do this one. Nothing is going wrong with this one. So guys, even though the devil tried to, you know, show up at some point, I don't know, maybe some of the I can still bring up the story. Okay. Yes, definitely. I will tell you people how I nearly risked this pregnancy. The reason I'm doing all these things is not for anything, but just to educate, just to sensitize, nothing more. Now, God, God protected us, and look at us. He has brought us this far. Like I really give God all the glory. And at this point, I want to remind you again that what is that thing that you're waiting for? What is that one thing that you have been praying to God about? He has already done it. He has already done it. So please have faith, trust in God, and He will show up for you. And when he will do that, he will do it in the most perfect way. He will do it in a way that you don't even have to worry about anything anymore. That is just the God we serve. That is just God for you. So just key into this miracle, key into this to this awesomeness of God, and that thing which you're believing God for is already granted. So, guys, this will be bringing us to the end of this TTC journey story. Okay, yeah, God has been so faithful. Just believe in God, keep trusting in God, and He will prove Himself to you. Okay, I blow out baby dust to all the TTC mom. So thank you so much for watching. See, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to this channel and turn your bell notification on. Okay, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.